everyone, welcome back. My name's Nathan, in case you've forgotten. This is Andrew and this is Toby. You would have seen all of us in some of the previous videos and it's so good to have you back. In this video, we're going to be spending a bit more time thinking about cartwheels and kind of putting more detail into how to do them really well. So this video is going to cover the key coaching points when it comes to doing cartwheels. And it doesn't involve any kind of prior knowledge. So we're going to assume that you have never done a cartwheel before, which is absolutely fine. If you've watched our previous videos, then you would have seen us teach a cartwheel there. We'll teach it a little bit more thoroughly this time. So looking forward to that. These guys can do cartwheels, so I won't be teaching them from scratch. But what that means is that you can still see some really good cartwheels for you to kind of base your own practice off. I'll see you in the warm-up. Okay, welcome to the warm-up. We're going to play a really cool game. I've kind of played this in the past with my gymnasts and they've really liked it. The way it's going to work is at home, and these guys are also going to play. You're going to be running on the spot. So let's all run on the spot. And if I say up, everyone jumps. If I say down, they're all gonna drop down to the ground and quickly up. If I say left, you're gonna do a quick egg roll to the left. And if I say right, you're gonna do a quick roll to the right. Okay? Does that make sense? So I'm gonna try and trip you up. So you really gotta be paying attention to what I'm saying. If you make a mistake, that's okay. We just want you to keep moving. We're going to do this real quick so we don't spend heaps of time here. Alright, let's get started. Okay, and let's go! And up! And down! And left! Keep moving, and right! And down! And down! Up, down, up, left. Nicely done. Oh, they're getting a little bit tired. And down, up, left, and finish. Okay, well done, boys. Good job. Good job. I know that was tiring. I'm sure you're feeling a little bit out of breath. That's good. That's just to make us a bit more warm for the next part where we're actually going to start doing a cartwheel. I'll see you there.
Alright, for cartwheels today we're going to need to stretch out our wrists, which obviously get used a lot in the cartwheel, and we'll also stretch out our straddle so we can get that nice cartwheel position with our legs in a Y shape. Okay, so we'll start off with the wrists coming down to the floor. Okay, we're going to do some push-ups like this, get the wrist going. Okay, and then we go side to side, start to imitate the cartwheel motion. Okay, and different angles as well. Okay, now we do a quick straddle set, starting from standing up, pushing our knees back. Okay, stretching out that hip area and those hip muscles. Okay, good. And then we'll move on to the seated straddle. Okay, so we're gonna touch our left leg first, stretch the hamstring. Okay, to the right. And a big reach forward. Okay guys, that's it for stretch today, so we'll see you in the next section.
Okay, fantastic. So we're now going to start learning how to do the cartwheel, and we have Toby here to help us. So what Toby's going to do for us is he's just going to demonstrate the cartwheel in normal speed, and then after that Andrew is going to come over and he's going to help us step through the cartwheel, and I'm going to talk about more specific parts of it. So Toby, will you please show us a cartwheel? Fantastic. Okay, cool. So that's what the cartwheel looks like. And Andrew's going to come in now, and I'm going to show you all of the really important details about that cartwheel that allows Toby to do it so easily. Okay, so first thing is we're going to start with our arms up. So you can see Andrew here, he's got his arms up. The reason why we start here is because from here all the way into the entry in your cartwheel after you step forward, your arms and your body need to be straight. So if you take a look at Andrew, his body, his arms are all straight. Particular note is his open shoulders. What do I mean by open shoulders? Andrew, would you please close your shoulders? Okay, this is what we call closed shoulders in gymnastics, okay? And this is really unhelpful for your cartwheel. So we want open shoulders. Fantastic. From here, we're gonna go and do a massive lunge forward. One of the best things about good cartwheels is that they are long. Okay, they are long. So that's why Andrew's taking such a big step forward. You'll also notice that from his hands down to his back foot, he's completely straight. Okay, it should just be a straight line. And from here, we're going to start reaching forward and turning. So we're going to turn at the last minute. You'll also notice as Andrew kind of reaches out, he's going to try and put his hands out somewhere there, right? He doesn't want to put his hands right next to his foot. All right, so Andrew finishing off the cartwheel. And there we go, finishing in that start position at the end. Well done, Andrew. Thank you, Toby. We will see you in the next section for some drills. Okay, we're going to start doing cartwheels now. So if you've got a raised object in your home with a bit of clear space around it, feel free to try this, it's pretty safe. So, Toby here is going to try the bunny hop over a box drill. What this drill is designed to do is to help you kind of get used to the motion of doing a cartwheel. So often it's a little bit kind of weird for the first time, getting off your feet onto your hands and then swinging them all over the place. That's okay. That's what this drill is designed to help you get used to. So what you're going to do is you're going to place your hands on the box. Specifically, you want to place them sideways. Toby, could you please place them incorrectly, facing forwards? Yeah, nice. A lot of people will also kind of just go straight onto the box with their hand here and move that over. So some people just kind of do this kind of thing, right? So that's not right. We want to do it as if we're doing a cartwheel. Great. So we're going to start in this position, and from here, we're just going to do a big bunny hop over the box. Just like that. Now, specific thing to note. When you're doing this drill, it's designed to help you get used to that cartwheel motion. So you could very easily kind of just do lots and lots of low bunny hops, but if you want to kind of get used to it, the higher you can do your bunny hop, the better. So Toby, if you could show us an even higher bunny hop. So can you see how that time, Toby was a little bit higher, he's more vertical, he's more on top of his hands. That's because Toby's kind of used to it, but as well as for you, that's kind of something for you to aim for, yeah? So, you would have also noticed that Toby isn't really finishing in the right position. He's kind of looking at you and he's just doing a bunny hop over. But in a cartwheel, Toby would actually end up facing this way. So Toby, will you please show us what I mean by that? So Toby is going to do a bunny hop, off you go, and he's going to end up finishing this way. And so that's the beginnings of our cartwheel. So you don't actually want to end up facing that way. At the very end, you want to kind of rotate and start finishing this way. If you want to look at that again, feel free to rewind the video or even go back into the demonstration that we did at the very start of the video and take a look at that again if that's a little bit confusing. Thank you, Toby. We're going to move on to a slightly harder drill. Feel free to practice that. Fantastic. Okay, we're now going to move on to a low cartwheel over the box. So in this drill, we're going to be heading closer to what an actual cartwheel is going to look like. So Andrew here is going to demonstrate. For this drill as well, we're actually going to start in a proper starting position. Great, so Andrew's going to do that position that we talked about at the start. Arms up, shoulders open, fantastic. And from here, you're going to do the same hand placement. So you're going to place your hands sideways, so not forwards as if we were doing a handstand. So we're going to place them sideways, and we're just going to kick our legs while they're straight over the box in a horizontal direction. Okay, so we're not going to go all the way up into a handstand, just around the side to get used to the motion. Okay, Andrew, will you please show us that? Fantastic. Okay, thanks, Andrew. So you would have noticed when Andrew did that, he still took a big lunge forward. He still entered the low cartwheel as if he was going to do a proper cartwheel. So you can actually still practice all of those entry techniques as you're going into this drill. But he's just not kicking his legs so far up. Andrew, will you please do an even lower one so that we're perhaps even closer to what our viewers might be experiencing? Great. That's a great example. Thank you. So you would have noticed again that Andrew's also finishing in that same finishing position, in start. As you can see, you don't have to go high with this drill, but there is also potential for you to go really high. If you're ready, you could even do a cartwheel over this box. That being said, it is hard, right? So it's okay, just start low, and the idea is you want to kind of push yourself to go a bit higher, go a bit higher, go a bit higher, until you feel really confident with it, and then you can start doing it on the floor. That's what we're going to do in the next section. Okay, we've finally made it. We're actually going to do a cartwheel now, and Andrew's going to be the one demonstrating that for us today. What we're going to do is we're going to do a cartwheel on the line, and I might just get Andrew to demonstrate it first. But with this particular drill, I want you to really focus on where Andrew is putting his hands and his feet. Okay, I'm not going to tell you anything yet. Maybe just take a look at what Andrew does. Okay, nicely done, Andrew. Now, I wonder if you noticed Andrew didn't actually step off that line or put his hands anywhere off that line. Okay? That's actually the reason why Andrew is able to do a cartwheel in a straight line. So, Andrew, if you will please just do a lunge. You'll notice that as Andrew goes into his cartwheel, he's going to place his hands in line with his leading foot here. This is what makes your cartwheel straight. Very common mistake, and we'll talk about this later, is actually misaligning those. But yeah, we'll get to that. We'll just focus on what to do correctly first. So, in order for Andrew to do it well, he's going to place those two hands in front of that leading foot. All of that needs to be on the same line. Thank you, Andrew. Okay, now, Andrew, I also want you to just do a cartwheel for me. And we're going to see how long his cartwheel is. Okay, right. Thank you. So Andrew's final foot finished at the end of this rope. Andrew, if you please now just lie down with your arms up. So Andrew's going to put his feet at the start of that rope and his arms up. So you can actually see how long Andrew's cartwheel was. So maybe if you're at home, if you want to practice making your cartwheel longer and you want like a goal to aim for, maybe just lie down on the ground. So that length was, I'm just going to say roughly, perhaps double Andrew's body. So Andrew's really good at cartwheels, right? He's been doing this for a long time. So he can actually reach out really far, do a nice big step, and so make his cartwheel so long. So why don't you try and do that at home as well once you start to get really good at these. That's pretty much it for cartwheels now. Thank you, Andrew. In the next section, we're going to talk a little bit about some common mistakes. Okay, so in this section of the video, like I said, we're going to talk about a couple common mistakes that we see when we're coaching gymnasts in the gym. So the first one is going to be about the alignment of your hands and feet. Now you would have heard me talk about this in the previous section. So Toby, if you will please just do a lunge for us. Great, okay. So in the previous section, I said to try and align your hands with your leading foot. But what tends to be more comfortable for a lot of gymnasts is just to throw their arms off to the side and do a cartwheel. Toby, would you please demonstrate that? Yes, a terrible one for us. So he's going to do it, and he's going to throw his arms off to the side. So if you watch that back in slow-mo, you would have seen that Toby actually, so if you show us a lunge again, Toby actually put his hands out somewhere here. And why that's easier is because it makes it easier for these legs to just go out this way rather than over the top. Okay? So that often feels more comfortable, but it's actually not going to help you to do a cartwheel. So just be wary of that. The second one is to do with the length of your cartwheel. So again, we spoke about this a little bit before. The reason why doing a longer cartwheel is easier is because it gives you more room to actually move your body. Your body is kind of like a wheel, so it kind of rolls across the ground, and that works best when you're not trying to squash the entire cartwheel into a tiny space. So Toby, do you want to just show us a really short cartwheel? Okay, so you would have noticed, Toby's not bad at cartwheels, so he was still actually able to do that. But you would have noticed he took a really small step forward, and he actually placed his hands right next to that front foot. So that's not what we want to do. What this does is it just makes your cartwheel really short, and it means you have to really stretch your body to try and get it around to stand back up. So that's common mistake number 2. The third common mistake. I forgot.
What? You forgot? Hang on, I'll pull it up.
The third common mistake.
It says...
Too slow.
Too slow,
Yeah, okay, we'll just have to cut it. That's fine.
That's alright. 3, 2, 1.
The third common mistake is doing your cartwheel too slow. The cartwheel is designed to be moving. So you actually need a little bit of momentum to carry you over. If you get really good, then maybe, I don't know, you can just kind of use your strength and pull yourself over like that, but most people can't do that. So what really helps often is just to do it a little bit faster. Toby, could you please show us a really, really slow cartwheel? Okay, right. So you would have seen there, because Toby didn't have very much speed at the end, he kind of got to the end and he was kind of like, oh, and he couldn't make it quite over, so he had to step backwards. So again, if you have a little bit of speed, a little bit of momentum, that will become much easier. Well done, everyone. That's the end of our cartwheel video, and by now you should have all of the information that you need to start doing those cartwheels really well. We understand that not everyone has a big red box at home to practice all of those different drills and stuff. That's okay. If you've got any kind of raised platforms at home that are kind of safe, where you're not going to bruise yourself or whatever it is, those are fine as well. Feel free to practice those at home so that when you come back to Sydney Hills and join us in our classes, you'll be really good at cartwheels and ready to perhaps move up to higher levels and do even more interesting skills like round-offs and backflips and things like that. So thank you so much for joining us. Again, my name's Nathan, this is Andrew, and this is Toby, and on behalf of Sydney Hills, we would love to see you back in the next video.